It's Allison DeRoy, and this is my persuasive speech, and here's my audience. Say hi, everybody.
Hi.
And of course, there's one behind the camera. Okay. Have you ever been driving behind someone you know that shouldn't be driving? Someone who swerves on and off the road? Someone who tries to make illegal left-hand turns or mistakes the gas pedal is for the brake? If you guess drivers that are under the influence of drugs or alcohol, you're wrong. I am speaking of our elders wreaking havoc on our roads. Take Russell Weller in Santa Monica, California as an example. In 2003, this 86-year-old man plowed through a farmer's market, killing 10 people. His response to police after this incident is that he might have hit the gas pedal instead of the brake. An even more horrifying incident involved 93-year-old Ralph Parker. In 2005, he struck a 52-year-old man crossing the street at 45 miles an hour, severing his right leg. Then Parker continued to drive 3 miles, unaware that there was a head and shoulders sticking through his windshield and a torso on the hood of his car. Parker responded to the police that the body just seemed to fall out of thin air. Believe it or not, people over the age of 75 have just as much chance of causing a car accident as teenagers do. Statistics show that people over the age of 75 have a 30% higher rate than teenager drivers. The reason for such a high percentage is because of the way aging affects your mental and physical abilities. After the age of 75, many characteristics start to occur, like slower reaction time, depth perception changes, decreased ability to focus, and mental problems like dementia. To counteract these mental and physical problems, many elderly people take medications, and they are unaware of their side effects, like drowsiness. So why do we have stricter laws for teenagers when our elders are just as dangerous? That is a question I would like to answer. Laws for elderly drivers vary from state to state, but most are very similar. While all states require some form of visual testing when licenses are first issued, many states do not require a vision test as part of the renewal process. In addition, no state requires a mental or competency test as a prerequisite for obtaining a license renewal once a person reaches a certain age. While several states require an application to undergo a mental health examination if notified by police or a relative, the majority of states do not have any formal system for requiring a medical examination, but rather only subject an applicant to such an examination if the applicant appears mentally unable to operate an automobile. So how is this problem solved? Many recommend that a more uniform and stringent system of license renewals be adopted by state legislators. These rules should address the unique problems posed by elderly drivers without jeopardizing a person's independence and sense of dignity. Some of these solutions include insurance companies offering discounts to elderlies who take a driver's safety course. Another but more drastic approach would be to make elderly drivers submit to a vision test, a medical examination, and a driver's test every 2 years after the age of 80. By requiring the elderly to submit to these standards, we will weed out the ones who shouldn't be on the road and make them safer. But what about the drivers who do get weeded out? That is where public transportation comes into handy. If a state provides a public transportation system for our elders, it will help the ones who don't have any way to get around. A good example of this idea already in effect is the Sunshine Bus Corporation of St. Augustine, Florida. This is sponsored by the city's Commission on Aging. This bus company gives elders back their sense of independence. The U.S. Census Bureau projects that there will be 9.6 million people of age 85 or older by 2030. This is 73% up from today. It is predicted by 2030, when all the baby boomers are at least 65, they will be responsible for 25% of all fatal crashes. Isn't it a given that Florida will have a majority of those elders? Florida is one of the most popular states that people retire to. So why is it that our state has one of the least strictest laws on elderly driving? Shouldn't they be among the strictest? Our elders in the state of Florida are only required to submit to a vision test when renewing a license. This is where you, the citizens of Florida, come into play. You don't have to be a state legislator or county commissioner to make a difference. Simply offering to drive your grandma or grandpa around to wherever they need to go does go a long way. Or if you're feeling more empowered, write a letter or create a petition and send it to a state legislator or county commissioner. It all starts with you. And then I have a graph of what it looks like. They say that from 16 to 19, you cause the most crashes. And then from 25 to 75 is when you're the most safest driver. And then 85 and up is when you become a more risk. Okay, does anybody have any questions? Somebody asked just one.
What made you do this topic?
Because I hate driving behind people that swerve in and out of the roads. One more. Come on, Ross.
What kind of car was the 93-year-old driving?
I don't know, it didn't say.
And the guy fell out of the sky.
I don't know, it didn't